To objectify someone means to degrade their status as to a mere object. In this video, I will discuss how Griffith objectifies pretty much everyone he knows and what that means for him. Griffith has had a passion to be king his entire life. It's always been his dream to make it to the castle. That alone most likely began the roots of his objectification of others. To be a king or a ruler of a mass amount of people, at some point certain people will most likely become objects more than people to you. Bodyguards that protect you are also men with their own lives to live, always at risk to protect you though. Just a piece in your life's game of chess. To many leaders, I'm sure, or even the people you lead, also pieces to help you generate success as that leader. My point is, on the path to become a great man, you may forget the world of those beneath you, because your reality is not theirs. You're so tuned into your goals, you don't care how it affects others. You only want each piece on the board to play its role to secure your success. The biggest examples of Griffith's personal objectification are with Guts, Casca, and Princess Charlotte. I'll start with the most obvious example first, Guts. When Guts and Griffith first meet, Guts is completely against aligning himself with the band of the Hawk. Griffith is interested in Guts because of his skill in battle after witnessing with his own eyes, not to mention Guts defeating several of his Hawks in battle. Griffith pursues Guts regardless of him denying Griffith's invitation into the band of the Hawk. Something Griffith probably prefers, to be honest. The final act and the origin of the manipulation Griffith demonstrates to Guts is to beat him in a fight, that if Guts lost, Griffith will take ownership over Guts as if he is property. Once Guts lost, he now belonged to Griffith. Guts shortly after began to see how great Griffith truly was and even felt honored to become his friend, or so he thought. Griffith feels any man who does not have his own dream or purpose is no friend or no equal to him. Guts' purpose at this point in his life was to help Griffith achieve his dream, and he would lay his life down to do it. But to hear that he is nothing more than a pawn in a game much greater than he knew, changed how he chose to continue life. He was set out to define himself and find out what drove him, but Griffith would not accept that. With all the years that passed since their original battle, Griffith reminded Guts that he is his property, and to no longer be his property, he would have to defeat him in battle. Griffith underestimated Guts and he lost in one strike that destroyed his sword in the process. That moment set causality down a path that changed the world as everyone would know it. This is the first time Griffith's property did not follow his command. Griffith will take this betrayal personally and feel more justified when he decided to sacrifice the band of the Hawk. This moment is the first and maybe the biggest piece as to why Griffith chose to sacrifice his comrades. A chain of events happened due to this moment, and we will revisit it throughout this video. Next, I'll break down Griffith's objectification of Princess Charlotte. Princess Charlotte is the perfect person, or the perfect toy, for Griffith to objectify. She is yet to see through him and his true motives. Griffith is hell-bent on achieving his dream and becoming king. With him not being born into royalty, it is virtually impossible for him to achieve his dream of becoming king. Once Griffith met Princess Charlotte of Midland, he knew if he could marry her by default, he would be royalty. He began to pursue her romantically, but not because he truly desired her, only to secure his position as king. Another example of Griffith objectifying Princess Charlotte is when he decided to sneak into her bedroom to seduce her. The only reason that happened is because he was depressed about Guts leaving the band of the Hawk. He was so distraught, he needed a distraction and something to help him get over that loss. He chose to seduce Charlotte, knowing having sex with the princess is considered a dangerous offense since they were not married. None of that mattered. In all honesty, how Charlotte felt didn't matter either. Griffith just needed a way to ease his pain. Ironically, this decision was what would lead him to being captured and tortured for a year. The last example of Griffith's objectification is with Casca. Her objectification happens in many various ways. Casca is immediately saved by Griffith from a rapist in their first meeting of each other. This sets up the savior complex between them. Griffith is famous for this amongst many others, but I think it was a deeper connection for Casca. Side note, a savior complex is an attitude that a person carries believing they are meant to save people who they view as needing help, the light leading them out of the darkness. Casca met Griffith at a point in her life when everything was basically suffering for her. She was also young, so meeting someone who saves her forever shaped her view of Griffith. Through subtleties of the story, you can tell Casca falls in love with Griffith, though these feelings are never truly explored. Griffith is very aware and he knows of Casca's feelings as well. This is another tool he uses to objectify Casca. With Casca caring deeply for Griffith and what he thinks, She would do things she wouldn't want to do, like try to capture Guts in battle for the first time when they met, or try to satisfy Griffith's desires, the same way Griffith truly expects anyone near him to act, 100% loyalty to him, or his dreams, or his desires. The final piece of Griffith's objectification of Casca takes place before the eclipse and during the eclipse. I touched on this before in the previous video, but I'll speak on it again to show exactly what I noticed from Griffith's actions. Once Griffith was rescued by Guts and Casca from imprisonment and torture, Griffith realized Casca and Guts had fallen in love and exploring their feelings for each other. Griffith didn't like that because he saw firsthand his hold on Casca change. She still cared for him and would even sacrifice her quality of life to tend to Griffith for the rest of his life. But her loving Guts as much as she loved him was something Griffith couldn't handle. As Casca was changing his bandages, he threw his body on top of hers to show he still mattered the most and that he always will be loved more and desired above anyone else. Griffith never truly cared about Casca's desires of him until that moment, only because it has always been there. Griffith never had plans on loving Casca the way she loved him or to ever be with her, but her constant seeking of approval, guidance, and admiration of Griffith was something that Griffith expected. Casca was caught off guard and she pushed him away, denying him. Worried about his health and saddened by the state that he was in now, this was the final piece to the puzzle of Griffith starting the eclipse and sacrificing the Band of the Hawk. This moment will fully solidify why everyone was truly nothing more than a toy to him. The Band of Hawk had one main purpose: to fight for Griffith's dream and to be king. Griffith traded each member for exactly that. They were all just tokens to exchange for a prize. The truest friend he has come to know, Guts, was offered to the God Hand like everyone else, another toy that has served its purpose. The final and the worst act of all of this was the sexual assault of Casca. Understand that when this happened, everyone in the Band of the Hawk were already murdered except Guts and Casca. Femto stared into Guts' eyes to let him know, "I'm doing this in front of you to destroy the love you both have for each other." Even though Griffith has now reached godhood, he still wanted to make it known he is the only desire and longing Casca will ever know, even if she didn't want that herself. It wasn't her choice. She was only Griffith's property, his toy to play with, discard, or destroy. The sickest part about all of this is technically Guts and Casca should have been killed right after that. Skull Knight intervening was the only thing that saved him. Griffith truly wanted Casca and Guts to suffer as much as he could possibly make them before they died, all to show pure dominance and control over his toys. If you like the new entry into the journal, like, comment, subscribe, share this video. Get me in the algorithm, you feel me? Let a Berserk fan know about Dark Yagami's journal. Tell somebody else about this, get them into Berserk so we could all enjoy it. Sign your name in the journal and stay a while.